The 75th anniversary celebrations of our independence, Amrit Mahotsav, has culminated and has now ushered in Amrit Kal era of our independence. The nation is celebrating Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's 126th birth anniversary today as part of the 74th Republic Day Gala. India in the last 7 decades has achieved several new milestones. Our republic is aspirational, tech-savvy and willing to take on new challenges. It thus captures the spirit of India's togetherness. As the first president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad said, our constitution is a democratic instrument seeking to ensure to individual citizens the freedoms which are so invaluable. But the Republic Day, to quote eminent philosopher and the second president of India, Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, is also an opportunity for self-examination, for a searching of hearts. We may ask, has India's 7-decade-long journey given us the republic of our dreams? While we need to ponder over this poser, one thing is clear, that India has come thus far thanks to our incredible optimism, imagination and collective dreaming. After the 1787 Constitutional Convention, a group of American citizens asked Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the United States of America, what sort of government has been created. He replied, a republic if you can keep it. The same is true of the Indian Republic. One may create a republic, but that becomes one by creating institutional architecture and institutional plumbing. This is precisely what India has done by becoming quite inventive. But challenges remain. India proved wrong the prophets of doom in the West, thereby becoming a model for other newly independent countries. India kept the banner of democracy aloft when most newly independent states fell perilously into the hands of the military. That prompted Bernard Levin, London Times columnist, to say, if democracy in India falls, the end of democracy itself will be in sight. How did India do it? India demonstrated to the world how democracy and development go together. While East Asian countries believed that a country must first become economically fit for democracy, India insisted that a country must become economically fit through democracy. India is a perfect example of how living and dreaming democracy helps recreate democracy, and that a democracy that believes in itself renews itself. Building democracy is like searching for truth. The search for truth is like digging for gold. You wash the nugget under the tap and you have the full value of the gold. India's all-round development has been through small steps, not political evangelism or grandstanding, but by sharing her best practices with the wider world and building capacity of its people. Being a civilizational state has helped in this task. India is a huge, boisterous nation bursting with optimism for the future. India's growing economic significance has lent weight to her international profile. India's cultural and spiritual influence has grown, so has its soft power, including yoga and its culinary and cultural diversities. Today, India is an emerging great power with game-changing capabilities. Unlike China's rise, which causes apprehensions, the world takes a benign view of India's rise on the global stage. The economy is India's global calling card. India is also engaged in global burden sharing. Development partnership today is a key instrument of India's foreign policy. India is fast catching up with China in extending credit to build infrastructure and push economic ventures. India has signed 250 agreements covering space exploration, human space flight, and joint experiments with 59 countries. India's vaccine diplomacy, that was led brilliantly by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, is another feather in its cap. While India has sent peacekeeping forces across the world on issues like climate change, India is largely seen as part of the solution. India's rise has been transformative. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the stature of India in world affairs has rapidly risen. Whether it is G20 or BRICS forums, Quad or summits on climate change, or on issues relating to international financial architecture, India's voice counts more than ever before. From a balancing power on the global scene, India has become a leading global player. India believes there will be convergence with many, but congruence with none. Indian diplomacy today is swift-footed and flexible, and its grand strategy is defined by multi-alignment. India has many challenges to surmount, but as Prime Minister Modi says, India's will to become a leader amongst the Committee of Nations is achievable. It can be confidently surmised that 7 decades of India's republican journey has been a voyage of discovery, which consists not only seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. In the years to come, India will march ahead with new beliefs firmly anchored in her strong civilizational roots.